You know what, Sam?
What?
The new guys looked good.
Yes, they did. Yes, the new guys. Uh, what should we call them, Sam? I saw a lot of nicknames of like Yank and Stank.
I think that's what I think that's what the organization put out too.
Oh, really, Yank and
Yeah,
Stank? That's
yeah.
funny. Well, we will get to recapping the great win against Winnipeg. Uh, but first, as always, we like to get you guys into the seats at Canes games and also to anything by using a promo code. What was it? What's the promo
Yep.
code?
Use promo code Caniac Report for SeatGeek. It'll get you $20 off your first purchase. Whether it's a Hurricanes game, March Madness is coming up. You can use it there. Baseball, whatever you want to do. Promo code Caniac Report. First time purchase, $20 off.
Yes, it is a very, very good deal. And another thing, too, is that we have a giveaway going on right now. And Sam, there is a deadline for that giveaway since the
Yep.
game is Tuesday against
Yep.
Daylight. What is that deadline?
Deadline will be um Monday at 7. So tonight, as you listen to this at 7 p.m., will be the last time you can enter. Then we'll announce it sometime between 7 and 8 who the winner is. Once we get confirmation, they can attend. And then all you have to do to enter is if you want a bonus entry, if you haven't done it before, you can go in and rate the podcast 3, 4, or 5 stars. If you want to enter just regularly, as said before, tell us your favorite trade deadline acquisition for one entry. For two entries, you can tell us why that is your favorite trade deadline acquisition. And then after we do that on our next episode, Sam, we'll go through them all and talk about them.
Yep, definitely. And another thing too is we have a link for donations. So if you feel like you want to donate, there is a link to that in both on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast on the traditional side of things. And remember, if you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you never miss another episode. Don't be afraid to comment. We've had quite a few comments on YouTube, so please keep them coming. And also on the traditional podcast side of things too, leave a rating, a review, and obviously we want the rating review to be good, but regardless, it does help us. So if you do that, it would really help us out. So that's pretty much it. And Sam, I kind of want to tie a bow on the whole Rantanen saga in this episode because after this episode, I don't want to talk about the Rantanen thing anymore. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because new information has come out ever since our last episode, which was Friday, where we talked about the Rantanen trade. But apparently, Carolina tried to get him to go to Toronto in exchange for Mitch Marner was the initial offer. That would have been interesting, Sam. But I don't know if I could handle another player on an expiring contract. Would you?
Yeah, that would have been interesting, but I guess Marner didn't want to waive his contract. A lot of that, I think, is he doesn't want to deal with his contract until the offseason, so he just decided to stay put. He had a lot of power there. He still has a lot of power now. He can decide if he wants to stay or if he wants to go. So if he doesn't sign a contract, Carolina can take a run at him at the free agency, and
Yeah.
they've got the money to do it.
And there is plenty of worry, Sam, right now with Rantanen going to free agency at the end of
You mean
this year.
Marner?
Sorry, Marner, my bad. There is plenty of concern around Toronto fans just because he didn't say anything about him wanting to stay here. So it's
Yep,
going to be
we'll see what
interesting.
happens. Carolina's got the money, so we'll see what happens.
Yep. And another thing, too, like obviously, Rantanen, he got 2 points with Dallas. But before the game, Sam, this is what was really aggravating. But he in that interview he said that he kind of made his decision of wanting to be traded, not wanting to be here basically a
Yep.
week before the trade deadline. And that when I heard that, I was like, yeah, he's I just don't think you're a good person when you let handcuff a team for an entire week and not letting them possibly do more, because Carolina was wanting to do more. And another thing too that I kind of suspect too, Elliot Friedman kind of confirmed this in his latest episode, is the fact that Carolina, that Stankoven first 2/3 from Dallas, was the best offer on the table. They were not going to get like a Wyatt Johnson, and Mitch Marner already refused to come here. So
Yeah,
I thought
well,
it was
I
done
would
better.
not put I would not say Mitch Marner refused to come here. I would say Mitch Marner refused to be traded.
Oh, fair. Yeah, he
Because
just
that's not
doesn't
the
want to
case.
deal with that. Yeah. But it is interesting all the Rantanen stuff, kind of the stuff that happened around the trade deadline and before, really interesting. And I mean, saying that he was blindsided, but Carolina actually asked his interest again. This doesn't make Rantanen look good in a good light. It just doesn't.
Yep. No, it doesn't, and that's why he's going to be public enemy number one.
Yes, and there were a lot of boos when that trade was announced at the Winnipeg game tonight. But another thing too, which was funny, Sam, the Carolina Pro Shop is doing a free nameplate replacement on Rantanen jerseys. Funny enough. So
Yeah, I thought
what
that
was
was
your
pretty funny.
reaction when you saw that?
I thought it was funny and a pretty classy move by the organization to do that.
It was. It definitely was. And yeah, so that's kind of pretty much it around the NHL. But I'm done talking about the whole Rantanen thing. Sam, I'm sure you're done. We spent like what 30 minutes the last episode talking about the whole thing. So
If not
yeah,
more, yeah.
I'm I'm done unless you want to say anything else about the Rantanen thing.
No, he's gone. Stay gone.
Yep, I completely agree. And but now we're going to talk about the new guys a bit, Sam, because obviously when you have new guys, you have new numbers on the back of their jerseys. Yankovic will wear number 77, and he's the first player to do so ever since Joe Corvo, believe it or not, Sam. Remember
I think
him?
it's Jankowski.
Sorry, Jankowski. Who did I say? I'm sorry.
I think you said
Guys.
Yankovic.
Sorry.
That's like the singer.
Jankowski. Yeah, I know. I don't know why I keep mixing those names up. That's the second time I've done that tonight.
Yep, Jankowski, 77. So yeah, not since Joe Corvo. Tony D'Angelo wore it.
Oh, that's right, Tony D'Angelo. I forgot about that. How do you feel about him wearing Tony D'Angelo's number?
I think it's funny. I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No.
And Stankoven wearing number 22. The last player to wear that is Brett Pesce. So, yeah, common numbers on a team with new players. And another thing too, Sam, is that we saw the lineups at practice because they had practice before this game, and the lineups were Svetch, Aho, Stankoven. You had Marnik, Stahl, Jarvis. You had KK, Hall, Blake, and then you had Jankowski. Sorry, trying to remember that. Along with Joe's playing with Eric Robinson and Jack Roslovic. And Sam, I wasn't the biggest fan of those lines. What were your thoughts on those lines when you saw them at practice?
A little surprised that Stankoven got first line. But I mean,
was too.
He played solid tonight, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it's going to take time regardless because he's on
Yep.
a new team of which line he's on. But what I would have done is done Taylor, Hall, Aho, and Jarvis. But Rod decided to do Svetch, Aho, and Stankoven. And to me, another thing too, Sam, like I just don't think Aho and Svetch they've never had really any chemistry together. And Honestly, I would say out of all the lines tonight, that was the least effective line. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Hurricanes played pretty good tonight. So I mean, least
They did.
effective on a night when they played good is fine.
Yep. And another thing too is that Orlov is still out, so we got to see Sam Scott Morrow,
Yep.
and you and I we talked about this briefly heading to our seats, but I mean Orlov being hurt and bringing up Scott Morrow, do you think he is actually hurt? I could be totally wrong about this for the record, but I'm
It
just
was an
speculating here.
interesting last second scratch the other night. So I don't know. We'll see. It might not even be hurt. He might just not be. Depending on what's going on, he might not be able to play. If it's a
Yeah.
fitness issue, if it's an ability issue, I don't know. But as of right now, I have to go with what the organization says and that he's hurt. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I thought Morrow played really good tonight. So I have no problem. Morrow playing gives you a little bit of youth on the blue line. So in a year where you just need some, you're giving some guys some opportunities. I don't know why you don't use Morrow.
Oh, I agree. It's just I just wonder about the injury aspect on Orlov. I mean, you look at this week, you have Tampa, Detroit Friday, and Carolina is at Philadelphia on Saturday. I mean, could you see possibly Scott Morrow playing all of this week? Or do you think we'll eventually see Orlov?
I think we eventually see Orlov. As much as I would like to just continue to scratch him, I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah, I don't either. But I think if we do see Morrow more frequently, I think that could turn into a sign of, well, he might not actually be Orlov might not actually be hurt. Again,
Well,
purely speculative. It's just one of those things, you know, Sam.
yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know what's gonna. It'll be interesting to see.
It definitely will. Well, Sam, let's recap uh the one and only game that we have to recap, Winnipeg. But before we do, let's get to one of our sponsors. This NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going. That just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out, and games left for you to get in the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Bill Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. NHL and NHL team marks are the property of the NHL and its teams. NHL 2025, all rights reserved. Hey, Sam, guess what I'm wearing?
Oh my gosh.
For those of you who don't know, I'll probably tuck this into my jersey. or haven't or are just listening, I put on the Brent Burns beard because it
Yeah, that
was
was
kids'
funny.
night.
Yep, that was funny.
It was, and all the broadcast team for the Hurricanes, they wore it. So you got to see Hannah Yates wearing it. Trip Tracy, Sam was wearing it. He was funny with Trip. He was wearing it up to his nose.
Yeah, he was doing it during the Rod interview too,
Yeah.
which was funny.
But yeah, so it was kids' night. Awesome atmosphere. Loved it. And obviously, Winnipeg, Sam, we knew this was a game where uh, we could see this team losing to just because of how good Winnipeg is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Winnipeg's the best in the league, so there's a reason why you go into this game. Like, if you can get a point, I think that's a good night. Not only did you get a point, you got two, and Winnipeg got none. Not like it matters. No one's catching them for the in the Western Conference. Maybe Washington catches them for the President's Trophy, but I mean they're the best team in the league for a reason. But Carolina was up to the challenge today.
Yes, they definitely were. Now, in the first period, I actually thought Winnipeg was the better team. But second period, third period, Sam, Carolina, it was night and day performance from the first. They played so much better. And in that first period, Sam, we get a goal from one of the new guys and Mark Jankowski. What a great pass from Scott Morrow, Sam. And that's something you want to see from a rookie defenseman.
Yeah, he's a puck moving defenseman. That's why you have him. Offensive minded guy. He looked really good. It was an excellent pass to Jankowski, who ripped it right over the shoulder of Hellebuck, which doesn't happen very often. So you
No.
love to see and you love to see those kind of new goals, especially from new guys who are coming in to participate in this roster.
Yes. And another thing, too, I would say in the third period, it did look like there was a bit of a weight lifted off of the Hurricane players' shoulders a bit.
Yes.
Because we know the trade deadline, regardless of the Rantanen trade deadline is stressful for the players as you just don't know if you're going to get traded or not. But it did look like there was a difference there. But yeah, Jankowski, Sam, not only that, I thought his line was the best line in the game.
Yeah, it was. They looked really, 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 really good tonight, and that was just so good to see. You want to see new guys fit in really well, and these two guys have so far. So you just want to continue to see them gel. And having a 6'4" center on your team is not a bad thing.
Nope. And again, he's a big guy, and the Hurricanes desperately need that type of guy. And it didn't surprise me that he started over Tyson Jost. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that I hate Tyson Jost, but I think the reason why he was on the ice just because we didn't really have sort of anyone better, like leaps and bounds better than him. Yeah, you maybe could have played Suzuki, but I mean, it's not like he's a huge improvement from where Tyson Jost is. But with Jankowski, you get a big guy, and he, again, played great. The only thing in the first period, though, Sam, is the power play started off bad.
Yeah, it did start off bad. Well, it started off not scoring again. No shock there.
Yeah, and we even had that 4-minute power play. Like, oof, that was rough. It was just...
Yeah, when you don't score on a 4-minute double minor, it's kind of rough.
Yeah, it definitely is. And then, Sam, in the second period, you have Jankowski scoring again from Roslovic and Robinson. And to me, this was a goal that was just all work ethic. Jankowski, I believe, it was Roslovic that shot at Hellebuck, but then Jankowski, with his big frame, he comes in, sees the puck loose, and he scores.
Yep, those are the kind of goals you're going to get from Jankowski in general.
Yep.
More so than the first one, just because Jankowski's a bigger guy. He's going to use his frame. He's going to box players out. He's going to crash the net. He's going to stand in front of the net. That's what you're going to get with him. And that second goal is more like what we'll see from him on a regular basis.
Yes. And another thing, too, and I would say the same thing for Stankoven, too, but Sam, you talked about like the attitude.
Yep.
Rantanen did not have that attitude at all when
Nope.
he was with us. But those
He had a
guys
bad attitude.
actually, those guys actually looked like they wanted to be here, which was great.
That's what you want from new players. You want to see that they want to be here. They want to play here, and that's what you got from these guys. They clearly wanted to be here, play here, and they had fun tonight.
Yes, they did have very fun tonight. And in the third period, Sam, on the power play finally has hope, and you have Logan Stankoven scoring on the power play from Ghost and Aho. What a nice play, honestly, I would say by Stankoven for getting into a position to knock the puck down from the shaft of his stick
Mm-hmm.
into the goal. And I mean, we saw flashes. I do think the more games Stankoven plays, we'll see the real potential.
Yeah.
But I like him. I do.
Yep. He looked good, and we'll see if he continues to grow with this team.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know, when we got Stankoven, I eventually found the time to do some research on him, and he is a first round pick that honestly, he at worst, from what I heard on the Athletic, because the Athletic had an article on Dallas's best prospects from last year. Again, this article is from last year, but they had Stankoven as a clear number one. His worst potential was probably going to be a third line scoring guy. His best was a first line scoring potential. So, Sam, if he can be like, honestly, maybe on the same track as like Aho in terms of points, we have
Mm-hmm.
a real keeper.
Yeah, it could end up really well, working really well for us. So it's really just a matter of time to see what happens. He's a young player, so there's plenty of time.
Yes, definitely. He is 22 years old. So, yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see his development here in Raleigh. And Sam, Cancer up 3-0. I thought when it came to that third goal, I was like, okay, Carolina should win this.
Yep.
Because I'm not confident with Hurricanes up 2-0, but 3-0, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, I mean, Anderson, listen, he played a very, very good game. He
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
did.
he did. Yeah. No, he did until the
And
end.
then, in the end, you have Alex Iafallo just shooting the puck. I mean, you can tell just from the shot he was kind of having high hopes of it going in, but actually went 10 off the blocker and in from the like from a very, very sharp ankle off the boards. Like that was not good for Freddie to let that fumble.
Yeah.
And then fortunately, you have Seth Jarvis scored on the empty net from Martin Oakenstall. I did think Seth Jarvis was really good tonight. I thought he had plenty of chances to score.
Yeah.
Heck, I thought Jankowski could have gotten a hat trick. Wouldn't you?
Yeah, no, Jankowski looked really good. A couple of good chances there at the end too. So, just want to continue to see him play well. I mean, again, bigger guy, he's going to get his chances.
Yeah, he is. And also, what was funny too is that I believe it was in our section where we heard the rant of it was on Rantanen, but it was oh Sam, you remember that chant? Because I laughed really hard. It was
Like
no more Miko or who
who
needs
needs
Miko?
Miko? Yeah, who needs
Yeah,
Miko?
who needs Miko? I loved that. That was so funny. And the fact that Jankowski has 2 goals, which tie the amount of goals that Rantanen had in his tenure with us. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But good for Jankowski.
Oh yeah, I was so happy. And then Sam came the most ugliest play clearly this whole game with Adam Lowry scoring because Anderson was like, "I'll just pass it to you. You look like you could use a goal. I'm just gonna pass it to you." And he does. Has it right to win the Winnipeg player, and he scores.
Fortunately, by then it didn't matter, but it was still like an Freddie, man.
And he was announced. What was it? He was announced with the second star of the game. Like,
Yeah, no, I was a little
I was
surprised.
like, what?
Yeah, I was tad surprised at that.
I mean, I know the game was meaningless at the end just because we all knew we were going to win, but you still can't allow that to happen.
No.
So, I kind of disagreed with Anderson getting a star, but regardless, if we were counting meaningful hockey, then yeah, he probably would be a star because he had really, really good saves. To me, the best save, Sam, that Anderson had was on Kyle Connor, if you remember
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Winnipeg was
Right.
on the power
Literally
play.
in the grease.
Oh man, that was just pure awesomeness
Yeah.
right there.
So a couple
And
goals you don't want Freddie to allow, but Freddie's also probably why you end up still winning this game. So give and take.
yeah, give and take. Jankowski gets the first star of the game. And
Yep.
we started to hear the chant of, what was it, Yankee?
Yeah. Good for him.
Oh man, loved seeing that from Jankowski. But it, I mean, it's just one game. We're going to
Yeah.
see these new guys play a lot more, see how they do, and hope. I mean, Stankoven, even though I love Jankowski, Sam, I think Stankoven, he's going to be the most interesting to watch. I think just
Yes.
because he actually has future implications of this
Yep.
team, not
Yep.
Jankowski. So, well, we're going to end this episode a little bit shorter than usual. I think, Sam, the last episode, it went over an hour.
Yeah,
Can
that's
you
fine.
believe
I think
that?
everyone's okay with the short episode. There's not much news now that the deadline's passed.
No, there isn't. Even though I'm telling you, it's weird seeing Brad Marchand in a Florida jersey.
Yeah, that's a bit
It's
different.
really weird. And just seeing the news behind that, like Marchand just getting traded. Wow. But
Yeah.
we already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be sure if you have not done a submission yet for the ticket giveaway, be sure to do that
Yep.
before 8 p.m. tonight as this episode is released.
7.
Oh, sorry, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. We'll announce it between 7 and 8.
Yes. And another thing, too, I should mention is once we do, keep an eye on your DMs, your emails, whatever you use to communicate with us, because that's how we're going to get back with you guys.
Yep.
Please keep an eye out for that. So, a good short episode, and we will see you guys Friday.